Good morning. So, Pico del Teide, or Teide, or Teide, not sure how you say it. Either way, it is now 11:15 and we're leaving for the airport at 1 o'clock. So, very last minute preparations today, very last minute organisation. It's been quite a busy period in terms of work and responsibilities and family life and all sorts of different things. So, everything has been left to the last minute. I haven't packed, I haven't done anything. I'm literally just about to jump on the laptop now to get a GPX for the route, which will hopefully be on tomorrow. Got to check the weather, which at the moment it's showing around 20 degrees plus for sea level, but around -10 feels like temperature at the summit. So that's going to make things quite complex in terms of layering systems and what we're going to wear. Still got to check in. I've still got to charge all my electronics, and hopefully I'm aiming to get a DJI Action 5 in the airport because I've left that very last minute as well and it was too late for Amazon to deliver it. So for right now, everything's getting filmed on the iPhone, everything audio-wise is getting filmed on the iPhone and stuff, but hopefully when we get to the airport, I'll have something else which I'll be able to show you a lot more of, because I'm hoping to continue using the battery on my phone rather than filming, because I don't really want to be out in the middle of a Teide National Park with no phone signal or no phone at all because the battery's gone. So stay tuned, I'm going to take you along for every step of the way. I'm going to go over clothes and packing in a moment. Then obviously tomorrow, what food we're using, how much water we're taking. One of the big things which I have found difficult, or not struggle as such, but a bit more problematic than usual, is normally when I'm hiking out in the UK or I'm guiding, I'll just take everything with me in the van. So I'll have clothes for rain, I'll have clothes for summer, I'll have clothes for every season, or windy conditions, rainy conditions, cold conditions, warm conditions, whatever you can think of. And I'll decide on the day depending on the forecast. Now, obviously going abroad, you don't have that luxury, unfortunately, especially if you're tight arse like us. We've not paid for like extra baggages and stuff like that, so we've only got backpacks and one cabin bag between us. So I'm gonna only take one type of layering system and one clothing system, which I know I'm gonna wear tomorrow. So I'll go over that in a moment. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, share, comment, do all that good stuff. And it does genuinely really mean a lot to me. So I hope you enjoyed this video. So just come upstairs, ready to pack. And this is the space that's left for me in the bag. So this is Claire's stuff. I'm sure all you ladies out there do exactly the same. This is all Claire's stuff. I'm there for about 2 days. So one of them's going to be hiking and one of them's going to be in the pool, so not that much stuff needed. That's Claire's stuff. There's looking directly from above. I reckon about halfway is about there. And there's my space. So should just be able to fit a t-shirt and shorts and maybe a towel in there, maybe a couple of pairs of boxers or some socks, but we'll have to make do. Excited. Claire doesn't think we're going to get billed for these bags and this one. This is supposed to be a larger cabin bag, but it's definitely going to get billed, isn't it? Let's see. So something that we didn't notice, which we only noticed on the plane flying out, is that Claire actually had the wrong name on her ticket. So instead of Claire Thomas, she had Claire Tomlinson. So once we was on the plane, we were panicking a little bit whether we'd actually get into the country. News, we've managed to get through airport security, no thanks to Claire.
You?
Claire said she feels like an illegal immigrant, and we've managed to get our car, which the records is all there, even though I had an email saying it was pending and that it wasn't going through and that the car wasn't going to be here. Managed to get the car as well, so walked through the airport, all is well in the world, and it's about time we had a bit of good luck, but about to drive over to the hotel and get an early night. Good morning. So we managed to get the car, managed to get Claire safely into the country, managed to find our way to the hotel, got checked in. It was quite late last night, probably about midnight by the time we got here, and then got ourselves a pizza and just went to bed really. Not a bad night's sleep, but we're all ready to go. Layering systems, it took me a while to decide on what's going to be. So I've looked at the weather today, it's showing 21, 22 degrees at sea level, and it's showing feels like temperature of -12 at a 60-kilometre wind, so it's pretty challenging because it's going to be hot and then cold. So what I decided to go with, I'm not sure if you can see, but I'll talk about it throughout the day. We've got Polymer, soft shell pants, boots. Don't really hike anywhere without boots. I'm not sort of like one of these people who go, oh, I can get away with trainers. I just don't like the idea of rolling your ankle somewhere where it could be in the middle of nowhere. On now, I've got the Manumit merino wool t-shirt, designed to keep cool in cool temperatures, designed to keep you warm in warm temperatures. Sorry, that's completely wrong. Designed to keep you cool in warm temperatures, designed to keep you warm in cold temperatures. So it's good at thermal regulation. I've got mountain equipment, thin Polar Tech mid layer, which I'm going to throw in the bag. And I've got the Through Dark soft shell gilet just in case it gets really cold. Just going to throw underneath. Now I've still brought Paramo Valle's waterproof jacket because for two reasons. Obviously one, it's waterproof, and two, it's really windproof. So in the unlikely scenario that it does rain, then I'm covered there. But because it is going to be quite windy at the top, I want to keep that wind off me, especially if it's going to be -12. So the plan now is just to get to the shop, get some water, get some food, some breakfast, and get some food for the journey and for obviously for the hike. And then it's about an hour's drive then over to Teide itself for the start point, where hopefully there's going to be some car parking spaces. But we've arrived at the car park. So it's not the car park which you originally wanted, but it's the one we've got. We've got a little bit of a walk down the road to get to the proper start point. So we're starting at 2,400 metres, not too much elevation left, but about 1,200, 1,300 metres of elevation. Shouldn't be too bad, but we'll see. Yeah, I feel clear. Absolutely ecstatic, look, what a mad scenery. One of the things here that I thought was actually really helpful was these signs. So these signs are pretty much everywhere, all the way the routes. They give a good description of the route, terrain, what to do in the event of an emergency, what to do in the event of adverse weather, and pretty helpful. If you're scared of lizards, look away now, but these little fellas are absolutely everywhere and they're absolutely rapid. So in this first half, the path itself is almost like a road, and it's used by the guards to get up to the highest point where they're going to check for the permits. At this point, where you could probably get away with wearing whatever you wanted, there was people in trainers, flip-flops, and the actual incline wasn't too bad. But once you get up to the high point where the guards are here, this is where they'll be checking the first set of permits to make sure you've got the documentation that you need to get up to the summit. And we did genuinely see quite a few people turning around and getting turned back that didn't have the documentation because they hadn't done the research, unfortunately. So after a brief stop and some squashies, we got onto the next half of the trail, which as you can see here is pretty treacherous in terms of terrain. This is the part where it's still well signposted, still well pathed, but it's a lot more rugged and definitely a lot steeper than the first half. As we got up to the refuge, we was looking forward to a nice beer or a drink or at least something to eat, but it was shut until November 2025 for refurbishments, which was very unfortunate, along with the cable cars, which was also closed due to the weather. This was probably the lowest point for both me and Claire. The winds was pretty bad, hitting 60-70 kilometers an hour. The cable cars had been shut off, which we were hoping we was going to get on the way down, and we were starting to struggle with hunger and sort of energy due to both the altitude and the fact that we didn't have any food. But once we got to the top, this is what you can see from the summit, and that is looking directly into the volcano. We've got a nice cloud inversion, we've got some chains, because there's a little bit of a ridge on the left where you can go a little bit higher up, but we opted not to do it due to the winds and the fact that there's nobody else there on the entire summit. We didn't feel quite safe enough. But all in all, amazing trip. I would definitely recommend it to anybody. If you can get there, it's a pretty cheap weekend in Tenerife. The car rental's really cheap, and I will just leave you with this last little part, which was completely unprepared from me, wasn't planned, but it felt like the right time and the right moment. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe, like, comment, do all that good stuff. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you might have. Feel free to drop them below or send me a private message on Instagram. I'll see you in the next video.